Greetings, viewers. It's Cammy TP, Totally Politics, and today I'm talking about what the 2024 GOP presidential primary will look like, and most specifically, ex-President Donald Trump and his Vice President Mike Pence's newfound rivalry. They have gone their separate ways for sure. They have endorsed different candidates in a few races, and Trump has even confirmed that if he wins the Republican presidential nomination in 2024, Mike Pence will not be his running mate. Now, I will talk about the 2024 presidential primary and what it will look like, especially with the rivalry between Trump and Pence taking place. Before we begin, please don't forget to like this vid and subscribe to my channel. Trump and Pence's rivalry. Trump and Mike Pence haven't even talked since they both left office. Trump since then has been trying to distance himself from Trump, especially since he's been so tied to him since they served together. Trump has explained that he thought Mike Pence was a good VP, but they haven't been on good terms since January 6th, when Trump asked Pence to overturn the election results, but he confirmed he didn't have the constitutional authority to do so. Because of this, many hardcore MAGAs have turned on him and called him a rhino. Trump has even confirmed that if he wins the Republican nomination for president in 2024, that Pence will not be his running mate. Top AC being Trump's running mate include Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who I will talk about later, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, Texas Senator Ted Cruz, and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Both Trump and Pence appear to be gearing up for presidential runs in 2024. Speaking of which, that's what I'm getting into next. Since they have gone their separate ways, and Trump, as it appears, is obviously running for 2024, as he's dropped hints at it several times, and confirmed Pence won't be his running mate. Pence, as it appears, looks to be prepping for his own 2024 presidential run. Trump had him as his running mate at first in 2016, to appeal to evangelical Christians, since he used to be a pro-choice Democrat, and Pence, being a very staunch Christian, is very much pro-life and supports a nationwide abortion ban. They also have endorsed different candidates in a few races. In the Arizona governor's race, Trump endorsed ex-news anchor Carrie Lake, while Pence endorsed Regent Karen Taylor Robson. For this race, they held rivaling campaign events for these candidates at the exact same day at the exact same time. Carrie Lake won, however, and it took a few days to count all the ballots. To endorse different candidates in the Georgia governor's race, Pence endorsed the incumbent Brian Kemp, who Trump turned against after he certified the election in 2020 that Biden won in Deemton Moreno, while Trump endorsed his more extreme challenger David Perdue. They held different rallies for both, and Kemp won. They also endorsed different candidates in the Wisconsin governor's race. Trump endorsed businessman Tim Michels, while Pence endorsed former Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Kleefisch. This is another case of Trump backing an outsider while Pence backed the establishment type. These endorsements could also be a test to who has a better chance of who would win the GOP nomination in 2024. The GOP field in 2024. One thing I'm sure will happen in the Republican primary in 2024 is that it will be super duper crowded. They have been super hard on Biden, and all the most viewed shows are Fox News shows. CNN and MSNBC shows were at the top when Trump was president. And now that Biden's president, those shows' ratings have dropped, and Biden is unpopular. The Democrat primary field in 2020 was extremely crowded as well, and like 30 people ran. I expect that to be the case for the Republicans in 2 years. 7 Democrats made it to voting count for the delegates. And typically, in open seats or when challenging Democrats, Republicans typically have 4. there will be a wide range of candidates, including some MAGA candidates, and then some from the anti-Trump wing of the party. If the primary were held today, Trump would win by far. Second place is DeSantis, who is the governor of Florida and has become widely popular among Republicans in the last few years with his victory there in a blue wave year by less than half a percentage point, as well as many of the laws he's passed and his more lax approach to the COVID pandemic. In fact, people have been moving there by the hundreds of thousands the past few years due to them liking him, and he now has a double-digit lead over his likely Democrat opponents. Mike Pence is third place. It says a lot when the governor of a current state is more popular than an ex-vice president among a party nationwide. DeSantis has gained momentum and name recognition all across the country. He could unite both MAGAs and the anti-Trump wing of the party. The only way in which Pence would stand a chance is if both Trump or DeSantis not to run. Or I should say, if both Trump and DeSantis decide not to run, or all candidates other than those two for that matter. Other candidates who are likely speculated to run in 2024 include ex-UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, and ex-Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. We haven't gotten complete until confirmation from either of them that they will be running for president in 2 years. This is because the midterms are not over yet, and we can expect announcements from any 2024 candidates after the midterms are over in January. Both have gone around the country campaigning for their choice candidates to win, as has Nikki Haley, who goes on Fox News to regularly criticize Biden. Pence has had more guts to criticize Trump and distance himself from him. This could be a good trick to appeal more to moderates. Trump has had Pence with a good VP and had a good relationship while they served together, but has become less fond of him, obviously since January 6th. Trump is still raising money and having rallies all across the country, very crowded rallies, to campaign for his choice candidates in races, most of whom have won. These include Carrie Lake in Arizona, Ted Budd in North Carolina, Doug Mastriano in Pennsylvania, Tudor Dixon in Michigan, Henry McMaster in South Carolina, and many more. His endorsement basically guarantees victory for a Republican, with a few exceptions. Matthew Cawthorn was an incumbent with Trump's endorsement, but got unseated in the primary since he had his fair share of scandals. Pence mostly appeals to evangelical Christians, and even did a long speech on how the Bible guided him on January 6th. He cited a reason for not overturning electoral votes, despite believing the election was stolen, is not having the constitutional authority to do it. From this chart, it's obvious Trump has such a grip on the party, and Pence doesn't have much relevance anymore within the GOP. The fact that they serve together could create even more tension among them and with voters. Quite some time ago, he told Hannity on Fox how he'd already made up his mind on whether or not he would run in 2024. The voters, however, have already rejected him. Well, since departing from the White House, the two have split a fair share of times. While Pence is vice president, he did for a lot of the time just endorse whoever Trump endorsed. Trump, by far, has the highest support numbers for 2024. His numbers are often in the 40s to 60s. However, a fair share are ready to move on from Trump and want someone new. This could mean DeSantis, Pompeo, Nikki Haley, Pence, Tom Cotton. Pence, who is in third place in many polls, doesn't even break single digits. However, every other candidate than Trump's total support combined is less than how much support Trump has. Trump's grip on the GOP remains strong. However, 2024 is 2 years away, so lots could change by then. Both Trump and Pence are visiting early primary states such as South Carolina, New Hampshire, Iowa. How much a politician involves himself in the midterms is an outstanding factor in whether or not they run for president. This could also pit the party against each other. Since both incumbent Arizona Governor Doug Ducey and Pence have endorsed Karen Taylor Robson, I even saw one person say online that Pence wants to have Ducey as his running mate, as Ducey's term limited, and that's why he isn't running for Arizona Governor again. Nikki Haley, as it very much looks like she is running for president in 2024. She said a year ago that she wouldn't run if Trump runs, but it seems she's changed her mind. She's been endorsing candidates in many races across the country and traveling. A month ago or so, she referred to the next president as a she and has spoken out against Trump a few times and goes on Fox News regularly and regularly criticizes Biden. If DeSantis is the Republican nominee in 2024 or some other non-Trump Republican like Pence or Pompeo or whatnot, Trump lost the popular vote in 2016 by 3 million and 2020 by 7 million. 2024 would probably he lose the popular vote by 10 million then. However, if someone other than Trump is the GOP nominee, that candidate would likely win both the popular vote and the Electoral College. Well, anyways, there you have it. My speculation about how the Trump-Pence relationship went from serving together in the White House to a very likely rivalry in the primary in 2024. Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this vid and sub to my channel.